Hey everyone, welcome back to the PayPal Social Media Lounge hosted by TechSet at South by Southwest. If you have questions for our next guest or anyone else, don't forget to hashtag PayPal SXSW. Okay, so next up, we have a film that's a little bit more in the supernatural. The last one was a little bit more about...
Yeah, we were a little bit more edutainment last time.
The last one was a marijuana one, but now we're going to go... it's a little bit of a change of pace.
What's that?
What's that?
What's that?
What's
he's young. Yeah, he's young. It's
Good answer.
That's a word you may learn later in life.
So right now we have the cast of 1 and 2.
Welcome, guys.
Welcome
Thank
them
you
to
so
the
much
stage.
for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Now, you guys just had your U.S. premiere last night. Is that correct?
We did, and we feel fine.
Good.
You look
Two
healthy,
of us haven't slept,
vibrant.
but we're alive.
Yeah. So I assume everything went well?
It did.
Standing ovation?
It seemed to go pretty well. Andrew's our director, so he knows better than us in all things.
It was a good screening. Yeah. It was, so we already premiered in Berlin, so it was a little bit easier. We weren't as nervous, or at least I wasn't. I don't know how you guys were doing, but sort of already got the growing pains out of the way.
Well, and the good thing about premiering in Berlin is if they don't like it, you can't tell anyway, because I don't know what they're talking about.
It went well, yeah.
Oh, that's
so.
perfect.
So for anyone that didn't get to make it to the screening, since there's not really a trailer out, would you mind filling in the audience a little bit about what the film is about?
Yeah, sure. It's a film about two kids who grow up on a sort of mysterious farmhouse, and they grow up in isolation. And Timo plays one of the kids, plays Zach, and Kiernan Shipka plays Ava, and they sort of have powers, which I'll sort of leave as that. But
awesome.
There's a little bit of a genre element in what's kind of a very, in some ways, traditional family drama, but has other things going on.
Awesome. Now, for the actors in the film, can you tell us a little bit about the role that you played?
I play Daniel, who's a very loving father and and family man. He's probably Elizabeth's laughing because he's probably the bad guy in the movie, but I understood him and where he was coming from. So I mean, this is a picture that really has at its core 4 characters. There's the kids who are the central characters in this film, and then the parents, and it's all about this family trying to cope with what's going on within it, and so I play the dad, and he's very they live in extreme isolation on this property, and really we never see the entire family outside that environment. He's very much a traditionalist and thinks he has a very clear idea on what's going on with his children, but...
Well, I play the mother of the household, and I have a very complicated, mysterious illness that gets worse and worse over the course of the movie, and we still don't know what it was.
Oh, so there's mystery in this that is still a mystery.
No. I have my own secret choices.
Okay.
But it is very mysterious, and it's never fully revealed. But this family, as you said, they live in extreme isolation. They don't have neighbors. They're in the woods. They don't have electricity. They don't have running water. I mean, it's really this extreme lifestyle, and we're all very buttoned up, and there's a big religious element as well, which I found very interesting, even though you don't really...
What is this look that's happening right now? I want to know.
I want to know.
It's nothing.
We're just going to leave it at that.
I don't think they like you, Grant.
There's a lot of darkness, but then these beautiful children, and they have this special power.
Awesome.
My name is Timothy. Wait, that was not part of the question.
That's okay.
All right,
Hi,
thank you for
Timothy.
coming.
Welcome.
Hi,
It's really nice to
Timothy.
meet you.
I play Zach. I'm the son in the film, the son of these lovely 2 people over here. And Zach is the older brother to Ava, who's played by Kiernan Shipka. And he finds himself with these supernatural abilities, as does Kiernan. And whereas Ava's more, psyched about the abilities and wanting to use them and exploring the world. He is less enthusiastic about them and wants to keep the family together and just wants everything to go smoothly. So he's kind of caught in the difficult situation of wanting to be a kid himself, but at the same time, especially being on this farm, like Grant mentioned, when they already have adult responsibilities, like I said, caught between being a kid, having fun with the abilities that no one else has, but at the same time, keeping the family together and trying to be a good model for his younger sister.
Do you feel like the film really struggles with that? Say the overriding theme of the film is boyhood growing into manhood or childhood struggling to deal with adulthood.
Yeah, it's interesting. That last night was the third time I saw it, and it's the first time I saw all these kind of metaphors for divorce in the family, I thought, or separation, what it's like for a kid when his parents separate. And also, it really is a coming-of-age story in that the supernatural abilities in it serve as a tool to express how difficult it is to come of age. It's not like we're props to the supernatural abilities. They're in service to the story. So, yeah.
So after the screening yesterday, you guys had a Q&A, right? There's always a Q&A. What has been like the reception? What have people been interested in or like really tapped into?
It's been really warm. I mean, you could speak on that about Berlin, but we had quite a few people that came to multiple screenings in Berlin, which I've never experienced. And
that's really nice.
The last film I made was like, a really intense documentary that I made with my cousin, and I don't think anyone wanted to do it more than once. They were like, this is quite possibly the saddest film I've ever seen. I don't want to see it again. But so it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun, like talking to people, and they all seem really game for kind of getting down with the film as more of a metaphor for family instead of trying to ask me a lot of questions about exposition or like the.
So now what did you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so now what?
People like they give us the benefit of the doubt, which is really nice, and I think they treat it more of in some ways as an art film, and they like that they can plug in their own interpretations, and I really encourage that on set as well. As you kind of saw, they were all talking about it very differently. And everyone had their own ideas, and I think that was true for the characters as well in the scenes as to what was happening, and
it is
created
it's
nice
the first
dialogue.
time I've ever worked on a film where we have deliberately left so many questions unanswered for ourselves, and consciously steered clear sometimes quite deliberately of answering questions. So that's an interesting.
So you feel like in the Q&A people were trying to get those answers, or they were just okay with it?
No, I think that's the great thing is that I hope that a viewer isn't left feeling like they needed more. I want them to feel like they had a good meal. That they got everything that they wanted. But at the same time, like I don't personally, when I watch a film, I don't want to just walk out of the theater and be like, okay, I'm done. Let's go get a coffee. I want to think about it. I want to ruminate on it. I want to talk about it with family. I want to have dinner, and we talk about it for the next few days. And I think that's where I really want to work. I want to work in a place where you're left with something to chew on. I don't, I think it's terribly boring if it just told you exactly how to feel, and then there was
it was Earth all along,
like
a
website
like,
with a guide.
I got it.
It was all a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, though, funnily enough, there are people that think that the children are the ones making me ill, and then there are other people that think that I'm just happen to have this illness
It's
independently of their supernatural abilities. So it is interesting that we never answer that question, but
and you
people
all
seem to have
feel it
answered it
differently
themselves.
within the film as well,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I really like. But
Yeah, I messed that up in a couple interviews in Berlin where I was like, this is what, the mom gets, the kids have the abilities, the mom gets sicker, and Andrew's like,
Ixnay on the Ixnay. Yeah.
Now, Andrew, this is the first narrative that you've directed. Is that correct? What drew you to this specific script?
Well, it's something that I'd been thinking about for a while. I wrote it with my longtime friend, a guy I grew up with, and we were living in Missouri at the time, and I was, I don't know really where it came from. It's a weird melting pot of a lot of things. I was reading a lot about feral children, and I lived around a lot of Mennonite and Amish, and I was really drawn to their sort of, isolated way of living, and it kind of got me thinking about, how would it be to grow up with an unspoiled worldview, that you're sort of writing the rules, and you're making your own everything on your, like their parents are a guide, and they do have religion, but we kept the religion sort of vague, and so that it didn't have intense parameters of good and evil, and there was something about that really interested me, and that was sort of the spark. And then it just kind of became something else at one point. But I've shot a number of narrative films, so this was my first that I've directed, but was very ready to do it.
I have to say, personally, are you a big comic book reader? Is that kind of the supernatural element that appealed to you? Or?
No, not really. I
How dare you?
No, I know. I watch the films. I watch them all, but I'm not often entertained by them. I find myself pretty bored. But I liked science fiction when I was a kid. I read a lot of science fiction when I was a lot younger, and I don't really know. It seemed to me something that we were just talking about this earlier, but it seems like it's a nice path into a more serious film. It's something poppy. I want to be making films that sort of bridge a gap between high art and populist culture, popular culture. Like I want to be operating in a space like that. I want to make something that everyone can see, and there's a lot to talk about for everyone.
Very cool.
All right. So for anybody that can't go to Berlin in the past and or can't come to South by, when can they see this film? When can they see it?
We don't yet know. We're currently working on. I mean, the film hasn't really been for sale until now, so we're working on that. And if you've got a couple dollars, maybe I'll slip you a link. But otherwise, probably sometime this year, I'd imagine.
It's the black market of digital media.
I'm all about torrenting.
Backstage.
Personally, I'm all about it. I'm all about torrenting. Most people are not. I feel like directors, and of course, like my financiers would hate me for saying this, but like, with our doc, I was like psyched when it finally got online, and like, they, someone torrented it, and they did the nicest thing though. Like in the comments on the torrent, it said like, "Hey, if you like this film, please support the filmmaker's work. They're running a fund for the children in the documentary," and like, and all these people commented about how much they loved it, and like, were really engaged, and they got the film for free, which is I think amazing. But maybe
This
I
is
sort
the
of
NSA.
ended my career right
Stop
there.
this interview immediately.
So there you go. Go find it somewhere. It's out there somewhere. It's
not,
1 and 2.
thankfully.
It's
Screening
not
here, though,
nowhere.
2 more times here.
It's true.
Oh, 2 more screenings at South by Southwest.
2 more
yeah.
screenings. So anybody out there typing or blogging or whatever, you can go get a chance to go see it. If this amazing cast is any sign, it's going to be a great film. So you guys are awesome. We want to thank the cast and crew of 1 and 2. And if you guys have any more questions, don't forget to hashtag PayPal South by Southwest. Thanks again for coming out. We really
Thank you
appreciate
guys
it.
so much.
Thank
Let's
you.
give them a
All
big
right.
round of applause.
Yeah.
Thank you.